Welcome to the Real Estate Show on KMED. Pete Belcaster and Joe Brett, the real estate guys, with you today here. And thanks for joining us on KMED this weekend. Well, here we are, the first weekend of June. It's Super Bowl Sunday and all that kind of thing today.
That's how dedicated our listeners are here with us on Super Bowl morning.
Yeah, it is,
luckily,
too.
we're out in front of the game far enough to where you could catch your real estate information and still get to your goodies.
There's a lot going on. You know, we got the home show coming up in a couple weeks.
Excited for that.
That the home builders, do. Brad Bennington was with us last week here and talked about that, and that's always a big event. We're going to be out there as well. So today, though, here on the Real Estate Show, Werner Costanza is the owner of Better Built Construction. And we met Werner a year ago. He was working on my neighbor's deck across the street from me. He parked in my yard, and I met him, and I said, I want you to look at my deck. Next thing I knew, I got a new deck.
Well,
okay?
we looked at your deck for a long
time.
He
That's true, isn't
He
it?
loves it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even step on it.
I tell you, I hardly even walk on it because it's so beautiful, And then I had it stained afterwards.
Yeah.
And maintenance is what we learned from Werner. You got to do all those things. What a difference!
What it did do
makes.
for your curb appeal, though, all that old stuff and the concrete pilings, everything. The yard looks better.
Yeah.
Everything is
Everything.
really looking modernized.
So we enhanced the value of my property, which we're going to find out here in the next few months because I'm going to sell it. Anyway, Werner, welcome to the show. How you doing?
Thank you. Good. How are you guys?
We're good. So tell us about what yours 2017 was. You were here in the winter last year.
Yes.
So it's been a while. So tell us what your year was like with your business, because I know I saw your trucks everywhere. It seemed like you were pretty darn busy.
Yeah, no, last year was a great year for us. We have been growing steady, which is awesome and phenomenal, and we just keep going at it. And we're still, trying to help people, trying to give them the best investment that they can in their house, whether it's the deck or the fence, or remodels or brand new houses. Is we try and keep them with the best investment for resale. Like you, for example, if you're going to sell your house, the deck is adding value, and that's what we want. We want clients to be, hey, we're happy with the project. It looks good, and I know that I'm going to get my investment back in the future.
Well, and with a deck that size, like just to use his for an example, because I do this with buyers all the time. When we look at a deck that goes up to the second story, basically, because if it's not in good condition, what's happening to their sales price? It's coming down.
Exactly.
Because I'm asking for some concessions on what I know is going to have to be done to that deck. And so you put that money in, you come out ahead in the long run.
No, and then when you get inspection on the home, if there's something going on in the deck, you have to replace it anyway.
Yeah. That's when you call Werner. You're really in trouble at that point.
Or you give $6,000 or $8,000 or $10,000 in your sales price to compensate that.
No, but 2017 was great for us. It was
a good year. Well, I can't believe how many times I'm out showing property and you go on to decks and you walk onto decks and boy, you don't know if you're going to fall through the deck. So it's really maintenance of your current deck.
That's one of our responsibilities, too, as brokers.
But if you've got a deck in your property that you walk on, you're pretty nervous about it, you need to get a hold of Werner, right? I mean, maintenance of these decks is really critical, and it's a lot of people do not do, right?
No, they just think that out the deck is going to be fine, nothing's going to happen to it. It's meant to be outside. But no, you still have to maintain it, whether it's Trex or Fiberon or Cedar, you still have to maintain it. Trex and Fiberon, the composite decking, not as much because it's meant to last, but still the structure underneath is still wood. You still need to take care of that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you just need to keep going and keep taking care of all your outdoor spaces, your fences too.
And not only is the home inspector coming by to take a look at the condition of your deck, so is the appraiser. And that's also going to factor in if you're going to make your mark.
Well, you're certainly going to be selling
big ticket item.
Yeah, if you're thinking about selling your home, certainly you want to have, again, the NAR had the top 4 things that buyers were looking for in 2017, and I stumped Joe on this originally, but they were in the top 4 were landscaping, which we'll talk here in just a second with Alfonso about that, but outdoor living spaces was high on that list, and that's where the decking and the kinds of things that Werner talks about are really, really in demand, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big thing.
No, it is.
Other ones are roofs. We've seen deals go south because of roof conditions, and again, people do not maintain them or not taking care of them. And the other one were hardwood floors in homes. I mean, that's a big thing today. So, Werner, you're saying that you're doing a lot of remodeling right now. It's interesting because why? What do you think what's causing that right now, you think?
Well, remodel, the houses prices have gone up. They've gone up a lot, and so a lot of people are, hey, I can afford a house. Let's take the equity out because we have equity in our house, and let's remodel. Let's put the hardwood floors in that we want. Let's remodel our kitchen. Let's get new cabinets. Let's make this a modern living space, and we'll be happy, and we don't have to, give another down payment and get a new mortgage and go through all that process and try and sell this one. Because then you go back to the inspections and everything. So just remodel that one, make that one look nice, a livable space, add an addition to it, or remodel the kitchen, remodel the bathroom, the master bedroom where they spend a lot of time. And those remodels are the ones that people feel is still their home because they lived there for years, but it's a modern update to their home, which is awesome because they don't have to go anywhere. They just update their house and they keep going.
And oftentimes the benefit and the quality of your living area is enhanced. Like you said, you don't have to pick up and move and go through all of that, but it's almost like you're in a new place, or all the little things that have always bugged you about the place are gone. And it's more like you had the vision for it. So any time and an opportunity to be able to do that.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what is needed. It's just something for detail, the eye for detail and what the client needs and what the client wants. Because, for example, when we work on a budget basis, right, if your budget is a pretty good budget, you'll get a modern updated bathroom or a modern updated kitchen. Why? Because you know that the investment is coming in.
Yeah.
And so then once you update that and you have a good budget, then you know in 3 or 4 years when you do sell it, well, perfect. You get your investment back because that's what gives the investment back in good. Hardwood floors, for example, it's top because everybody wants hardwood floors.
Everybody wants
In
hardwood
our house,
floors now.
in our house, we have hardwood floors throughout. We don't have any side of carpet at all. We have tile and hardwood floors. That's it. We don't have any carpet whatsoever.
As much carpet in my house as I shampoo, man, I hear you. Talk to me because that's I'm ready to be done with that.
Well, Werner can come in and lay the hardwood floor in your house and remove those carpets that are in there. And just one other question, Werner, are the work that you're doing, is it across economic kind of zones in terms of the types of homes that you're remodeling? Is it just high-end homes? Tell me where
investors maybe.
What are you seeing
investors
there? Yeah.
investing in their homes?
No, we do more medium homes. So we don't do on the low-end homes because those are just for flippers, and we don't flip.
Okay, right.
Right.
So the investors are generally going to try to get
exactly,
those. Right.
and they don't do more custom. They do more. Let's get in there quick and let's get
Clean
out.
it up,
right, and then the high-end homes, those are taken by a lot of the people that have been here for 20, 25 years because of the word of mouth. So we do medium grade homes, but at the same time, it's still not it's still in East Medford. It's still the Delta Water, Cedar Links, all those new subdivisions that before 10 years ago, 20 years ago, they were modern, but now they're being outdated by the ones that are up in the Hillcrest
That's right.
It's
and
fascinating to watch that.
Yeah, and what is the word
evolve.
we always say? That updating your home, getting it ready like that, is going to bring you a higher price in the end because when buyers walk into homes and they see this hasn't been updated in 25, 30 years, they're not going to be as in tune to buy it as it is if it's updated.
And you're going to be
a
up
little bit
against
better.
properties in your neighborhood, in your range,
that are there.
and they're going to walk into that other house and see all those things are done and ready and good to go at about the same price. You lose.
Yeah, and then right now the open concept is in.
Yeah,
like modern is open concept.
Yeah.
When you walk into a house and there's 3 walls right in front of you, you're like, well, it doesn't it doesn't appeal to me. But if you walk in and it's all open and it feels wide, even if the ceilings are 8-foot ceilings and it's open, it still feels big.
Yeah. Well, you're going to be busy, I think, for a while because with the housing shortage that we have, the demand for remodeling to get your house because you cannot find a replacement house. You can then stay in your house longer and have Werner come in and remodel it for you if you want. And there are loans to do those. I mean, there are rehab loans everywhere now that lenders have out there. So that's a good thing.
And I can build you a brand new house too if you want.
And you can build a new one. Yeah. You pretty much do it all.
Pretty much.
So Werner brought Alfonso Cervantes with him today, and Alfonso is from Exclusive Yard Maintenance. It's a new business they started. But Alfonso, first of all, welcome to the show. Nice to have you here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Welcome.
So you've been doing that. You learned from the ground up about yard maintenance and landscaping,
that's
didn't
funny,
you?
Pete. That's good.
Yeah.
From the ground up. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you guys for the invitation. I hope I don't pass out. But I started when I was 17 years old, and right now I'm already 17 years.
You've been doing it that long.
Yeah. So I decided talking to Werner, and I told him, you know what, I think I'm gonna start my own thing, and I have the experience to start, taking care of yards and all that. And he pretty much pushed me and said, okay, go ahead and do it. You know, stop working for other people. Do it yourself.
Do it yourself.
Yes.
Make more money. Entrepreneurship, which is what this whole thing is about. So
Yes, and,
good for you for taking the risk to do it. Really, Alfonso, seriously, good for you.
Yeah, and it's a thing that I really like to do. You know, I like working outdoors. I enjoy, you know, when I'm trimming, pruning, mowing, clipping bushes, stuff like that. I really, really enjoy it. So I said, oh, it's a good thing. So I'm going to start doing my own thing.
Yeah, and off you go.
At the end of the day, you can look back and admire what has transpired and what you started with and what you leave.
Right now, what it really keeps me going is like the jobs that I do, and I look how I got them, or you know, it's a cleanup, and when I go ahead and after I'm done with it, and I see the pictures, you know, it really likes me that way.
After pictures, and I've seen his pictures, and he showed me his work. It's awesome. I mean, and the house is completely different on the yard.
Yeah.
I'm pretty like detail oriented person, so I try to, you know, like I see what I need to do to make it look nicer, you know, to make it look more inviting for people instead of just go there, just mow, blow, edge, and go.
Yeah,
you know,
mow, blow, and go.
Exactly.
That's right. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm not that kind of person. I try, you know, I get to a house and my point is to make it look beautiful, to make it look inviting. You know, that same owner is like, wow, is that my house? Yes, that's your house.
That's your house.
And we go to listing appointments and we see tree branches hanging over the roofs and the overgrown and just you want to encourage, you want yourselves to get that curb appeal is really important.
Okay, so Alfonso, what is the biggest problem that you see around?
The biggest problem that I see around is that the houses get neglected. You know, they get unattended, and when people is trying to like sell a house, a lot of times the yard, it's one of the main things that people see. They want space, they want this, they want that. So I have an experience about that. You know, one lady asked me, "Why do you think my house doesn't sell?" So I said, "I need to take a look at it." You know, and I went over and see the yard, and I told, because your house is overgrown, you know, doesn't seem that you have any space in there. And she asked me, "Can you fix it?" And I said, "I can try it."
I can fix it. Yeah.
So I went there, trim, prune, everything, rise things up, and.
So it's really neglect of people in their yards. I mean, they just don't do anything, right? You just let it become overgrown.
It's hard work.
Yeah,
actually,
sometimes, a lot of times people, you know, they get a house and they say, oh, you know, I can take care of the yard. And then all of a sudden, one time that you missed, you know, being out there at least once a week, and the work starts accumulating, and things start getting out of hand, and then all of a sudden you're like, I'll get it next week, and I'll get it next week, you know, things like that. And that's why the houses start getting a little bit neglected. And then they focus on one thing, and the other thing, you know, that they forgot last week, you know, it gets forgotten. Yeah. And that's what it goes to.
Well, that happens all the time. And what do you tell people now? What should they be doing now?
Right now,
getting ready for spring, because spring's coming. And whether I sell my house or not, when I'm going to put it on the market or not, really doesn't matter. You want your place to be clean, right? I mean, you want your place to be fixed, right? And to look good.
Things are growing through December and January in my yard the last couple of years. I've never seen or had to deal with the last few years. So it's kind of an ongoing year-round thing now.
Yeah. So Alfonso, what should people be doing in their yards here, 1st of February, down as we go for a while?
Well, this time of year, what it gives you to allows you to have your house like in neat condition, you know, because things start growing right now, but they grow slowly.
Right.
So pretty much you have to have your house already cleaned up. You need to be pruning, trimming, you know, stuff that needs to be taken care of when the spring hits in here. It doesn't just catch you out of guard,
right?
You know, so they should be keeping everything clipped. You know,
so we should be pruning right now. Trees in your
yard,
the shrubs.
Yes,
you can do that right now.
Yes, you can do that right now, especially because of the condition of the weather. So it allows you to do that. There's plants that you cannot trim when it's too hot.
Right,
so
right.
Right now it's like the perfect time to be pruning all of those, trimming back. Pretty much just have everything cleaned up and prune and trim. Have new plants, because already the cold season is getting away. So start preparing for the spring.
So you would come in even like in plant into yards. So you have the experience enough to put different vegetation in. You can pull some out and put new stuff in,
Yeah.
right? Because a lot of times, you got stuff in your yard that's been there for 25 years. It needs to be pulled out. It's ugly,
Needs to
right?
update.
Exactly,
Just
yeah.
inside of the house. Just like
Yeah.
inside of a house,
And,
needs to be
the- and one
updated.
of the biggest problems that I see is that people let bushes and things grow against the house.
Exactly, and
Big
That,
no-no.
that is a bad
that,
thing.
it is a bad thing because also allows all the ants and all the kind of stuff
Into the
to get
house.
into the house.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I said to my customers. I always try to get everything away from the house.
Away
That
from
way-
the house.
Yes, that's one
And
of
that's
the main.
not hard to do at your house. I mean, you can really do that, right? The
Yes.
other big thing is branches. You talked about that, Joe. Trees hanging over your house. That seems to be a big problem.
That's a big problem. It's dangerous also, and it costs you a lot of money. And also, because like on the fall when the leaves fall, and if you don't take care of that,
Yeah.
that will stain
That's
your
about-
Yeah,
concrete.
you got to do that. So neglect of your yard is
Think
the
of those
biggest problem out there.
40-year-old trees that are 2 feet off of my property line in my front yard, 3 of them, and I'm just praying and waiting.
Yeah. And we're talking today with Werner Costanza and Alfonso Cervantes in the Real Estate Show, talking maintenance of yards and remodeling, all that kind of thing. We're coming right back. The Real Estate Show rolls on KMED this weekend. Pete Belcaster and Joe Brett, the Real Estate Guys, with you. Don't forget, you can check out any of our past shows at realestateshoworegon.com. Next week, we'll have a John L. Scott Market Watch show for you. We'll give you the latest stats that come out, Joe, from, I guess it'll be November, December, January, the 3 generally slowest real estate months of the year. But it's still, the market here in Jackson, Josephine County continues its trajectory of activity. There's a lot of demand. It depends, whether you buy, sell, rent, or invest. The real estate market is totally different for each of those categories, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. And
Yeah.
depending on where you are around our valley as well. But,
Yeah. People still have difficulty in terms of whether you're downsizing to find a place to go, upsizing to find a place to go. We know that the luxury market has kind of stalled. There hasn't been a sale there for quite some time. A huge inventory of over $900,000 places. But if you've got something $250, it's like off the market pretty darn fast still. $350 even.
Been a robust
$375
market.
they go.
It's great demand, and it's kind of survival of the fittest. The most diligent, knowledgeable, and well-guided by a good broker buyers are the ones that are winning and getting their properties that they want. And there's some great ones out there, but you got to roll up your sleeves, be ready
And
to
your
get
house
to work
has to
and
be ready
get
to
it
go.
done.
That's
Yeah.
the bottom line. Your house, especially if you want to sell it, you got to make it, move in as ready as you can make it.
Because somebody else
Yeah.
in your neighborhood is going to be and on the market with you.
Yeah, so that's why Werner Costanza is here from Better Build Construction to talk about that. So Werner, welcome back to the show. You talked about you doing a lot of remodeling. That means a lot of permitting, I would think, and we've had shows on that about what you need for permits. Will you help somebody do that? Is that what you're doing right now in terms of permitting? But you don't have to have permits for everything, so that's where someone like you with experience knows what you need and don't need.
Right, exactly. If it's an addition, you need permits, no matter what.
If you add
If
onto
you
the
add
house.
to the house, you need
Did you have to
permits.
get a permit for my deck?
No.
You didn't
No, I
because you didn't add to the house,
No,
right? You
I
just
didn't
replaced
actually-
something.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, but if it's a remodel, it depends. On the electric and the plumbing, usually you have to get a permit if you're adding more lights to it, if you're moving to the panel, anything like that. The plumbing, if you're updating the plumbing, on some cases you don't have to, but most of the time you have to get a permit.
Okay.
Right? And I help you through the whole process.
Okay.
My job is to make sure that I go to the city office and I get the permits and I get this, I get that. If they need plans, I draw them up real quick.
So you're going to take care of that for me.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. I'll take care of that for you. Why? Because you don't have time
I
for
don't
that.
want to do it. I don't know what to do.
Exactly. And well, not even that. Some people don't have time. And what are you paying me for? Just thanks for your money. Like, I'll do the project. It doesn't matter,
That would be nice.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll take care of that for you, and I'll do it.
It's one of the most intimidating parts of the project.
Yeah. No, I've spent 2 hours in the city office trying to figure out, and like in the county office, just sitting there waiting, and then you go up and you're like, "This is what I need."
And as you're remodeling, since that seems to be the big thing that you're doing this year, is it mostly bathrooms, kitchens, or is it everything in between, or everything?
Well, it starts with the kitchen.
The kitchen becomes number one in the remodel. Isn't that funny? Because that's the opposite of what. See, I didn't do that. Yeah. See, I left my kitchen the way I remodeled everything else. Left the kitchen because I didn't want to do that because it cost too much money, and I've seen too many people come in and rip them out anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so kitchens,
Then bathrooms,
and then bathrooms. The two
bathrooms.
most expensive parts of remodeling.
what is it with bathrooms?
Well,
I spend about 5 to 7
Oh,
minutes
yeah.
in mine in the morning. It's like, God.
Yeah.
So I don't get it.
Well, you go into some and they're huge rooms, aren't they? They're really
Yeah,
anyway.
exactly.
But
Yeah.
those are the two big things. Yeah. And how are you getting for equipment and materials? Is there a shortage of anything that you found, or prices going up, or what is the material situation?
there's no shortage, but the prices are going up on the materials. Like everything else, I mean, it's a new year, prices go up. You know, and the cedar and the lumber and the dimensional lumber prices went up, and the tile and the hardwood floor, everything goes up.
Everything's gone up.
Because right now everybody is busy with construction. And
Everywhere.
so they know that hey, they need it anyway, so they're gonna buy it anyway. So we can put 50 cents more on this, 25 cents more on this.
Well-
And when you're talking about a 2,000 square foot house, and you 50 cents more, that's a lot of
Right,
money.
yeah.
I think you're going to see shortages eventually. At least what we've been hearing, because of so much construction in California after the fires and floods in Texas and Florida. So we may see that. But right now you're saying you're not having that problem. It's just the prices are higher.
Yes,
Okay, which-
right now in the
okay.
valley, we're
Yeah.
not having that problem.
And again, if you put this off, this is what we're telling people. If you put getting it done now, you're just going to pay more in the future. Whether
Yes.
you're going to buy a place now or you're going to wait another year, you're going to pay more, right? If you want it remodeled now or you're going to wait a year, you're going to pay more.
Yep.
So that's what we're telling folks, is that if you're going to do this, now may be the time with which to do it. I got to get back to Alfonso Cervantes for a minute here from Exclusive Yard Maintenance is the name of his business. Tell me how your deal today in landscaping with the use of pesticides and herbicides, is that something that people are concerned of when they talk with you, that you bring up with the clients, or is that something that people don't even care about?
No, a lot of people it's worry about it, and they ask you what kind of pesticides or what kind of stuff you use, to kill the grass or the weed, or to grow the
grow plants.
to grow
Yeah.
grass or plants. So I use stuff that is pets and people friendly.
Okay.
So, and there's also, if people they really don't like any chemical stuff,
Right.
there's organic stuff that you can use. So you just need to know, what are you using and why are you using it for?
What do you
So,
think? What do you like? What do you like the best? What do you like best?
I like the best the organic one, because
Okay.
that one, it's a slow process, and that allows you
Okay.
to work more with it, And the other one, the chemical stuff, it's like more drastic, and you
Yeah.
really need to be more careful with, what you're using, how much quantity you're using with it,
Yeah.
so that way you don't over.
Yeah, you don't want someone to be like someone like Joe who just pours Roundup all over his yard.
Something like that,
Right?
yes.
You really don't want to do that,
No.
right?
Are
No.
you supposed to mix that with water?
Oh, you're funny. Because you know
So
what
it works.
Yeah, you don't want to do what you're doing there with what you do. So
stuff,
yeah.
stuff is growing in my yard in December,
Well, but you
January.
don't-
That
yeah.
was not 5 years ago. I mean,
But you
it's
don't
so
need-
warm.
you
It's
don't
really
need-
different.
Well, that's what
you
you
don't
call
need Roundup.
the exclusive
It's-
yard maintenance and go in.
it's turning into a
What are you
jungle.
putting on there?
As you can
Yeah.
see,
So-
as you can see, Joe really needs help in his,
Yeah.
in his
I think
maintenance
it
of his
does.
yard.
I think it does. Yes.
Yeah.
No, you really need to be careful with what you're using. That way, you don't kill plants, or you don't also you don't people. It's doesn't get
Yeah. Yeah.
hurt or
Do you
harmed by
see?
that.
Are you seeing? Tell me about lawns? Okay, like in Ashland, I don't. Well, my lawn, I just let it go. Right in the summer, it just goes dry and it comes back.
Yeah.
Tell me but other people have beautiful lawns and things like that. Tell me what you're seeing in lawn care.
On lawn care, it's mainly your fertilizer, and you have to know when to apply it and when not to apply it, because
Okay.
it's not you said, oh, I want it green and I'm gonna go over there right now and put it. You need to have a schedule. So it basically takes a year for you to know a yard.
Really?
Yes, it takes. You need to be there the 4 seasons of the year.
Okay.
So-
Well, I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you really need to be there for the full year to know the yard. That
Okay.
way, you know when to apply it, when not to apply it, what you have to put on this section, or because not all the areas are the same.
Okay. Do you
So-
see a trend of people as they remodel or build new, they want less lawn, more lawn, or what?
People want more the space, so that's what I've been noticing more. The
When
people
you
want
say space, they want more-
They want a little bit more. more like flower beds, you know,
Right.
things like that.
Raised
a little,
beds or something like other
raised
than
bed,
lawn.
Other
Okay.
than lawn, yes.
All right,
And,
yeah.
but sometimes people think that they need to get rid of the lawn just because it looks yellow, stuff like that.
Right.
And sometimes you don't have to get rid of the lawn. You
no,
just,
it comes back. Believe
Yes,
me. I mean,
or
I tried
you-
to kill it. It
or
comes
you
back.
just have to go there, you know, and just do some reseeding, you know, do the detaching,
Okay.
the aeration, and the reseeding. The
Is that what we should be
fertilization.
doing now? If you have a beautiful
On
lawn
the spring.
in the spring,
On the
so
spring,
not
yes.
quite yet.
No, not
Okay.
quite yet. Let's say between at the end of March and beginning of the
Okay.
April. So that's like the best time of the year to do it, because that will give
Yeah.
you a really nice, you know, and full and thick lawn.
Yeah.
So that's
Not
when I
in
would.
Ashland though. They have this wonderful reservoir up above their city,
no.
Yeah.
and they put a premium on the water because it's a
It just depends where
scarce resource.
it depends where you live. I mean,
Yeah,
some
it
people,
really
you
does.
know, some people
Yeah.
have beautiful lawns that have irrigation water. Some people,
And it would cost you
know,
hundreds of dollars to
I've,
keep your
I've
yard
always,
green
I'm always
in the
surprised.
summer in
I'm
Ashland.
always surprised in real estate of looking at the beautiful yards that are in the East Medford neighborhoods. You know, those are some
Yep.
fabulous
Yeah.
places that have been built in yards and landscaped. Really something. Anyway, we're continuing on. One more segment to go. We're talking with Alfonso Cervantes and Werner Costanza. We're talking remodeling, about yard care, getting ready to sell your home. We're coming right back to KMED after this. Real Estate Show continues here on KMED this weekend. Pete and Joe, the real estate guys, with you. Next week, we'll have a John L. Scott Market Watch show for you. Got some terrific shows about interest rates coming up. An interesting show, Joe, on divorce and death in real estate.
Look forward to that one.
Yeah, there we go.
Perfect topic for Sunday morning too.
That's a topic, all right.
Driving home from
That,
church.
more than you really realize, and how those two things affect real estate.
Well,
they
I've-
do. Think
I've-
about it.
I've experienced one
Yeah.
end of that spectrum.
I don't want to experience the other. I don't know. Anyway, today here on the show, we're with Werner Costanza from Better Built Construction in Medford and Alfonso Cervantes from Exclusive Yard Maintenance, talking about getting ready for spring, getting ready for your homes, and what's kind of the latest of what's going on in remodeling and this kind of thing. So, Werner, before we continue on here, you do a lot of fences too and
Yes.
things like that around properties. And let's face it, a lot of people need to have their fences fixed because
Yes.
there's so many falling down.
Yeah,
Aren't
a
there?
lot of them
A lot
falling
of
down.
them.
A lot of them falling down.
Yeah.
And then it'll be updated. It'll be modern as well. Like the inside of your house, it'll be outside. A lot of people start sticking with the traditional doggy or traditional.
Yeah.
But now there's so many, you can do horizontal fences, right? That are more architectural and give a different
Right.
feel to your yard.
Yeah, and there's designer stuff.
Yeah,
with this.
designer fences you can put, especially in Ashland.
Yeah.
You can put smooth wire through them, and then that
Right.
way it prevents the deer from hopping through. Because deer are like pedestrians in Ashland.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
can cross the street whenever they want.
Yeah.
And so.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
And so you put smooth wire. It doesn't have to look bad. It still can look nice, and have a nice fence to protect the yard inside.
The
Because
deer
yeah.
are nice. Pete has bears that come
Well-
and eat out of his bird feeder
when
in
Warner
his
says-
driveway right outside his office
But
window.
what Warner says I think is really important is that so many people want to keep wildlife out and this kind of thing. And to me, I've seen the really cool fences that you allow wildlife to come through them, you know. And that's what I wish people would do more of, is that I hope you're seeing more of that allows transfer of animals through.
Right, and in certain areas, yeah, but a lot of people are trying to protect their gardens on their raised bed
I
because the deer
understand
can
that,
come
right?
in.
No, and at that point you can fence that up, but don't fence your whole property off. I guess
I
is
have
the
a
thing.
different
Yeah.
a different experience with that
Okay.
one.
Go ahead.
Because there's people that they like the animals to have on their yard.
Yeah.
So I have to that's when I have to use organic stuff.
Right,
right.
So for
Yeah,
the animals
absolutely.
to don't get
Right, right, and that's what would make sense to do with that for
Yes.
sure. But you're seeing all that. I mean,
Yeah.
but the fences. The point is, fences or decks or fences that we used to think of as just a straight narrow thing. That's a thing of the past.
yeah.
They really are, as you say, designer fences, and it could be wildlife. It could be a lot of different uses.
Yeah, there's different styles now that you can choose from, horizontal or the new deer fences,
Yeah.
see through, everything see through, but it's
Yeah.
still kept nice.
Yeah. See, those are things that I think that homeowners don't think about that they should, because it can
If
really.
I just had the time, I'd get the
it can-
saw and hammer out. But it's
Your
not good.
fence needs to be
Wow, you
redone
think?
too,
Yeah.
doesn't it? You know, basically everything you have needs to be redone.
I'm going to
You can
help in
go
the
learn
business
that.
this spring.
All right, Alfonso, tell us people about sprinkling and watering of their yards. Do you help people figure this out? Because so many people, like Joe again, he just waters all the time, okay? And it makes me crazy.
Yeah, no. For people when they ask me, I can talk to them and I let them know that there's new sprinklers, new sprinkler heads, especially that they save you around 30 to 40%, on the spraying water.
Really?
So that way you don't have to waste too much water, and those really help you. They have better coverage than the conventional ones, because the conventional ones or the old style, they just
Right.
put water
Lot
like
of
crazy.
water. Lot of
Yes,
water.
and then
Yeah.
you see, instead of seeing the lawn getting wet, you just getting a, how do you say, a pond, or instead of a nice a nice area irrigator or something like that. So
Okay.
yeah, there's different sprinklers that you can use, and they
Okay.
will save you water.
And do you in your yards now today, people want more native plants that are more, drought water resistant, that are, native plants here versus things that come in that you got to have a lot of water? Does that make a difference or anything?
People mainly what they want to have is like the different seasons plants,
Just a different plant.
Yes, just different plants to have.
Not necessarily.
Yeah, not necessarily, a
Native
specific.
plants.
Yes, no,
Okay.
yeah, and so that's when you recommend to have, these kind of plants for the spring or summer, and these kind of plants for the winter, and that way they don't lose that color all the time,
Yeah, because
So they
people
can-
like flowers and color.
Yes, sir.
I
I'm
understand that.
I'm onto something here.
What?
We have
Uh-oh.
smart homes now. We could talk to our washer and dryer and our fridge from our phones and set
Yeah.
our thermostats. How about a smart yard? Is that in the future?
So you hire a yard maintenance.
only the sprinkler clocks.
Only the sprinkler
clocks. That's as
they
far
have
as
a
it's
smart.
The rest
yes.
of it, Alfonso, is the smart.
Yeah, they have
there.
a smart sprinkler
Yeah.
clocks that you can control with your cell phone.
Yeah, well, that's
I don't think
really
you
good.
can control him with your cell phone, but
Well,
I need an app for that.
Warner, are
Yeah.
you installing smart things in your remodels, or
Yeah.
smart
the
appliances?
HVAC,
Smart.
the HVAC,
Yeah, yeah.
and the
Really?
appliances. Yeah, the HVAC now is Wi-Fi. I mean, you can control it from your phone.
Very-
If it's
yeah.
too hot, it's
Yeah.
going to lower the temperature. If it's
Okay.
too cold, you up the temperature.
All right.
And it talks to your phone, and then it's everything. You can tell Google. You can tell you connect the Google Home and just say,
Right.
"Hey Google,
Right.
lower the temperature,"
and
and it's
you're
all
putting
connected.
and you're putting these in.
the
People are wanting these
yeah,
in
people
right
are wanting
now.
those in.
And they're going to showcase it at the home show. You see
Oh,
all the
the
latest.
home
That's
show's
a
gonna have
great
all
place
sorts
to
of
see
text.
it all.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
wait.
it really is.
And people are wanting them because now people are younger people like my age. They're buying homes or they're building new homes. They're like, I want that. I don't want to get up in the middle of the night. I can
Nope.
just grab my phone and be like, oh, okay, temperature's low.
Well, you're right on the nose, because 36% of all sales nationwide, according to the NAR, are first-time home buyers, which are generally
Yeah,
younger people,
yeah.
and those are the kind of things that they're wanting.
they
Exactly.
come.
So when you remodel, again, I didn't think of that
Yeah.
part of it, but yeah, the smart,
You can
the
call
smart
Warner.
house. You're putting them in there. Jeez, where does this end? I don't know where you even go. One last thing I want to ask you guys about retaining walls. People have retaining walls all over the place, again, like fences.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see a lot of repair work in them, or are they maintained, or will neglect just make those things fall apart?
Yes, they tend to collapse, when they get unattended, or when they don't hire the right person, like
To put 'em in to start
yes,
with,
yes,
yeah.
like that, they can hire Warner, and get the right staff
Because you
done.
do some of that too, don't you?
Mm-hmm, I do. Yeah, we do.
And you see it everywhere.
Yes.
And you see the neglect and
And a
everywhere.
lot of
They're
hillsides.
calling-
Oh, yeah.
Everybody calls Warner when there's a problem.
Right.
The fence has fallen down. My deck has collapsed. These kind of things are going to call Werner. Well, look, fellas, we're out of time, so I want to give people a chance to how they can get a hold of you. So, Werner, how does someone want to get a hold of you at Better Build Construction?
They can call me or text me 541-301-7098, or Google us and just Google
Yeah.
Better Build
Better
Construction.
Build Construction Medford, and they can find you.
Yes.
And Alfonso, what about you?
They can call me or text me also,
Okay.
541-646-8548, and they can find me on Google or Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yes.
We just put by
Exclusive
Facebook
yard
Alfonso
maintenance.
Cervantes, right?
Yes,
Exclusive
Alfonso.
yard maintenance.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay. Well, look, you guys, we're out of time. You're going to come back again in another year. We're going to update and see what we see what
All
you
right.
two have been up
Thank you,
to.
guys.
Sounds
Because
good.
look how much has changed with Werner in the last year. I
Yeah.
mean, really, the market has so changed to you of remodeling, which reflects people can't find places, and so they're staying longer. And of course, maintenance of yards, and this thing is so important.
Cool to watch your business
do that.
model unfold and grow too.
Well, good
Yeah.
luck to you
work.
fellas, as good
Good
entrepreneurs
show.
that
Thank
you
you,
are.
guys.
Thanks
Thank
for
you,
being
guys.
here.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
That'll
you.
do it for the Real Estate Show this weekend. Have a great week, everybody. God bless you all. We'll talk to you next weekend right back here on KMED.
You've been listening to The Real Estate Show on KMED Radio, presented by the Rogue Valley Association of Realtors, along with John L. Scott Real Estate of Southern Oregon and Bank 34 Mortgage. For guest contact information, download our free app, or to watch a past show, visit us online at realestateshoworegon.com. This show is produced by Table Rock Productions. Join us again next weekend for Southern Oregon's one and only Real Estate Show on KMED. And thank you for making the Real Estate Show part of your weekend.